Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to the stream and another chapter. Working on this guy right there. That's our Mig-17. It's also this guy here. We'll run the intro. Wait for the plane to take off. We'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, we're back and we are going to continue on our little bird here. So just to recap, last time we got our machine guns put on the nose and got our landing gear bay doors all put in there. One thing I did want to do before we continue and do anything else, I want to take my little file here and I just want to go over this, so it's going to get rid of any high spots for me. Just doing this. You guys already see, but I'll just switch the camera and you can see here. Okay, I wanted to just go over this and smooth down all those high spots, because it's really going to be noticeable later on, and I want to try and get this as flush as possible. Now obviously that little section there is the highest point, and that's okay. We'll just kind of work our way on this a little bit and get that a little bit smoother. Now let's see how bad this side is. This side doesn't seem to be nearly as bad, although our leading edge here is sitting proud, and of course that one, same as this side. This side is sitting a little proud on there. But this side's not nearly as bad. Not nearly as bad. There is some detail right there. I don't want to get rid of that. Same on this side. I don't want to get rid of that completely. I'm just trying to make sure I've got somewhat flush edges. Nice and smooth there. Okay, so that's done. Now I did do a little more work on my little what you call these, the air brakes, the air brake doors. I did a little more work on them, and as I noticed, as I'm getting through and getting this flush, they're actually creating holes in there that I had to fill with some putty. So yeah, I'm done trying to make those flush. Basically, I'm done doing that. Okay, these guys, they're a little sunk in for the most part, but that's okay. We're just going to leave them like that. That's good enough. We don't need to do any more work on that. Okay, so speaking of work, what are we doing? Because we're still working on the belly of this plane. Let's flip back, because we did skip something, didn't we? We skipped our little things that go on the wings underneath here. This guy here, B23 and 34. Okay, so we got to put those in. So let's find those. Find our B tree, and let's get those. This B, yes it is. 23 and 34. 23, where are you? It's 18, 15, 25. 23. Oh, they're right beside each other. 23 and 34. And they actually look like they're identical. So I don't think it matters which is which. So here's 34. Okay. And then 23. Okay. So just taking a quick look at the peg. They don't look like there's any difference on these two parts at all. So, and looking at the holes, the holes are identical. So it's just simply put them in there, just like that. And we'll see how long these last before I break them off. I know myself pretty good, and I know from building many different models, different airplanes, when we put these little pieces in like this, I almost always wind up breaking them off at some point after. Doesn't seem to matter whether it can get right down to the point where I've totally finished it, and now I'm at the point where I'm taking pictures of this thing. And at some point while I'm taking pictures, I break it off. Just as I'm about to put it on the shelf to put it away. Okay. So those are in. All right. Those are done. So, like I said, they're identical. Then the holes they go in, they're exactly the same shape and size, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's done. So I believe that makes step 8 finished, except for the canopy, which we're not going to do till later on. Step 9 has everything now put on, so we can flip over. And of course, step 10 is assembly of your front landing gear and all that stuff, which we're not doing because we closed up the panels last time. Okay, that's all closed up with those two. And same deal with our rear landing gear. This is only talking about putting in the landing gear, and I don't need to do any of this. So step 11 is done. Boom. Moving on to step 12. Step 12 has our air brakes, which we already have installed, closed, right? So that part's done. But these two pieces, A3 and A4, let's grab our A tree. A3 and 4. They look a lot smaller in the diagram. Let's just drop that down over there. And that one there. Okay, let's have a look at these. So it looks like it's going to take up this entire section here. Now, I'm not sure if they're supposed to be, if they're wanting you to display it open like this, and that's why it looks the way it does in the picture. Because if we take a look at this, we look at the picture here, it looks like they want you to display them open. Which, of course, if I do that, that's just going to be a little weird. And they do have these little tabs on them. Little tabs right there and there. Right? You can see them there against the gray table. Okay? But where do they go? Where do those tabs go on the actual plane? It looks like they fit in these little spots here. But we don't want this open. I mean, I don't mind having them open a little bit, like, you know, maybe he's doing something, but to have it completely open is just unacceptable. I'm not against having this flat as like a flap kind of thing, but it looks like they actually have a little notch right there and there, which it's teasing me, as if to put it in right in that spot like this, but they don't line up. Oh yeah, they do. It lines up like that. Almost as if this piece slides out like that. And I really don't know, you know. It's possible it slides out and then sits in that position. It looks like there would be some kind of hydraulic to go into this spot here to here. Let's just double check our picture and see if there's supposed to be something we put there. they do have the arrows pointing down into that little notch I was referring to, and just have it sitting there like that, and then they don't show you anything else. So that implies that there is no shock. And then of course in every other picture here they show them like straight down here, which means that's supposed to be the parked position, and we're not doing parked, so we're not doing that. So these little tabs got to come off, and we've got to try and fit those in flush. So once again, we're dealing with panels that were not really designed to be closed. And we're going to see how they fit, or if they don't. So let's see how this guy fits now. With those taken off, I just want to make sure this is actually straight. Even with those cut, you know, it could be crooked. So let's have a see how she fits. Chances are she don't fit. Oh, look at that. She fits absolutely perfectly. Flawless. Flawless. Nice. I was not expecting that at all. Not at all. Wow. I do want to make sure she sticks down at the edge. Just hold that for a sec. Maybe I'll put a clamp on there. Yeah, we'll just do that. Hold her down. A little bit more glue there just to make sure. That's fantastic. That's beautiful. She fits in just so beautifully like that. I really love that. You know, that's really rare. So kudos, Ammo. I gotta give you props for making your panels fit for the most part. Yeah, your air brakes. Yeah, work on your air brakes, please. Get your air brakes. Get that situation fixed up. Okay. So hopefully we got the same situation on this side. I'm really hoping. If we get both sides to fit perfectly, that would be so fantastic. And let's get it the right way around. Oh boy, it's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. Sits in there just wonderfully. Thank you so much. That is really great. But just like the other side, I'm going to clamp it down just to be sure. I want it to sit there and stay in its home. This one's just got a little tiny bit of a gap, and that's why it looks like it's sticking up proud. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's have a look here. It looks like next thing to do will be some photo etch going on to the tops of our wings. So we got to get our photo etch stuff. They want you to use some slow drying CA glue, which of course I don't have. My CA glue is fast drying because, well, that's what CA glue does. So we got to get our photo etch out. Okay, take a look at these, and they're going to go in. We've got some little notches on our wings. If I get the light right, you can see them. There's one there, 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 and there, and there. Okay, and the same on this wing, same spots. Bing, 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 like that. Okay, and that's where these little tabs that they have on each of these, each little tab is going to slot it in, and this is going to sit straight up on each wing. So I want to get these cut out nicely, so I'm going to get my little piece of glass that I use. I did not come prepared to cut photo etch, so I don't have all my things out of the way here. So there's the piece of glass that I like to use to cut my photo etch on. I'll just clean it up here because it's pretty nasty looking. Oh, a lot of crap on this. You know, when it's been sitting here for a longest time, it's been sitting for such a long time, I wind up having to, I get lots of stuff on this. So let's just clean this up a little bit before I do anything with it. Give her a little wipe down here. And get her nice and clean. So I've got stuff on this side too. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. Things stuck to it, that's okay. That's quite alright. I know this has nothing to do with the build, but it does have everything to do with prepping here. Prepping it, okay? Alright, so the glass is clean. So, you can do this and this. Let's move these back over here out of my way. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Now let's see, the first one on the edge, the smallest edge, is PE number 3. So we're going to go 3, 2, 1. So let's see, can we see our numbers on here? Yes, we can. We got number 2, number 2, number 1, and number 3 and 3. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, just like that. All right. I'm going to do myself a favor and I'm going to mark this. 3, 2, 1. Okay. That just makes it a little easier for me to see. So, we're just going to take this and we're going to cut that until we're through. Alright. Do the same. Now you know, the way your blade works is your blade comes down on an angle like a V. So what I do is I want to get towards, as close to this edge as I can. So instead of putting my knife straight up and down, I angle it so it's going down towards that edge. And that helps to kind of eliminate the little bit of brass nub that you're going to get. Okay, so there we go. That piece is loose. Okay, so I was strategic in leaving that spot there with the tape. You run your finger across here, you're still going to feel that little bit of a nub right there on that edge. And so what I like to do is take my other tweezers, because they're stronger, they grip a little stronger, and I'll go right where that little nub is. Okay, very, very close. And now I'll take this on my coarse sandpaper stick, running parallel with the metal, not crosswise, but like this. Okay, I'll run it across there, test and see. Does that feel smooth? Now, it didn't take much, and that smoothed it right out. That's a nice smooth edge now. Okay. For these, it's not gonna matter that much because they're being put down into these holes. So I'm gonna get my clamp off of here. I don't need that anymore. Okay, because that's all glued in. Okay, very nicely. So we're gonna do a little test fit here. Let's take our tweezers and we'll see how this fits. Doesn't really want to fit, so that tells me the nubs that are on this are actually interfering, which means I need to sand those down. So again, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it on there. Okay. Now it's a little trickier because I have less surface to work with, but I'm going to try and sand that down a little bit and get that little edge off of there. It's a little harder on this one. Okay, let's try this again. Doesn't really want to go into its home. Oh, there we go. She snapped in. There we go. You might think you don't need glue, but you know, I know better than that. You're gonna need glue. I don't want to rely on the friction and the paint later to hold that in. That could very easily come out later. So we need to make sure that's going to stay, even if it's just a little touch of glue in there, in just like one of the little holes. That you still need to have something. So anyway, that's number 3. Let's get the second one out of there, because we're going to put them all in once they're all ready to go. Okay, I'll do one side, show you guys, and then we'll see how long this takes. But I got a feeling that this is all I'm going to be doing is one side tonight. Those this time with the. Sometimes I find it easier to kind of turn it around so that I've got the knife in the same direction for every cut.
Hey kid, you never let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead. Everything you know that you can get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret.
There we go. So there's our second one. I don't know what that's for. Yes, I'm honest. I don't know. I don't remember what that was from. Okay, this was going to be a little hard because I got to go on this edge here. But that's okay. Nice. There we go. Fortunately, this stuff seems to be rather soft, and my sanding stick is making short work of those nubs very quickly. Where was that one up top? There it is, right there. That up top there. And there we go. Oh, one more down back on this side. Here we go. Okay. That one's ready for a test fit, but first let's get number 1 off of here. This one's going to have 1, 2, 3 across the top. There we go. Turn this around. I'm going to put this over here. Which one did I do? This one. Did I just do this one? Yes, I did. And one more piece. There we go. There we go. First, we'll take care of this. Yep, good. Okay. Now these ones across the top, they actually came out really smooth. There we go. Okay. All three done. So, let's do test fits for the other two. This was our middle one. Let's put that down in there. And in there. This one fits very nicely. Okay. This one actually is loose. Okay. This guy, our main one, or main, or I say main, but it's just our longest one. Same deal. Fits quite loosely. Okay, but still fits. It's nice that it fits the contour of the wing perfectly. Okay, so this guy is our only one that's like really tight. So I kind of want to try and loosen up. I don't want him so tight that I run into any issues. So I'm going to just try and round off that edge a little bit, like I did on the other two. And that may have been the reason why, is I just kind of went on an angles like that. Let's see. And that did the trick. Just doing that little bit did the trick. So, just because it's kind of hard for you guys to see, on this, I went and I had it on an angle. Instead of just going straight, I did it on an angle. Like, okay, so I've got this like this, okay, and that angle there, like this and like that. So it's a rounded edge a little bit instead of just straight across on that little nub there. Okay, and that's what made it so it fits nicely in their slots. So let's get some CA glue. Get my special little cup. We'll see how my CA glue is for pouring. It's probably garbage, but we'll see here. Probably garbage. I just recently had to drill this out completely. And that's glued shut. There we go. Yeah, see, it's getting my glue's getting thick. It literally went in from the back, from inside, and drilled out like that. It kind of came up the side a little bit, but because I have issues with this plugging up, and I think everybody does really. Everybody has issues with your CA glue getting plugged. There we go. All that just so I can put this on there and get a little bit out like that, because that's really all I need. Put that back on there. Get my little applicator. Okay. And so first we're going to work our way from the inside out. So we're going to take our biggest one. Okay. Biggest one first. I'll put a couple little drops of glue on those tabs and then I'll put them on there. Put on both sides just to make sure. Okay. And then get them in his spots. And mess it up. Of course. Why? Because now you've got CA glue on it. And the CA glue makes it so it don't want to go in the hole. And it's freaking awesome because it dries so fast. Now I know why they want slow drying. That's why they call for slow drying. So now I gotta do this and get the CA glue off of this thing. Oh well, that's a learning lesson. Let's see if this will go back in now. Okay, I got the back in. The front don't want to go in. Still don't want to go in. Because I got a little bit in our little spot that it's supposed to, so I got to carve that out now. Okay. So lesson learned, don't put CA glue on the photo edge. Okay. So we got her in there. So what I need to do, this time I'm going to put the CA glue on the wing in those two spots. There and there. I need you to shove in there. Look. There. I did not manage to get that one in because it hurts my fingers so much to get that in there. I need to literally get pliers and pinch that down like that. Okay, so that's in there now, and she ain't going anywhere for a real long time. And that might be par for the course for this little section here. Okay, let's do the same with this one. Glue right there. Glue right there. this guy ready. Straight up and down. In the holes. In the holes. Come on, let's get in our holes. There we go. You got to be quick. If you don't line it up quickly, yeah, you wind up doing what I had to do with the first one. There we go. Nice. Perfect. Okay. All three of them in there. Just like that. That's one side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll get the other side done and then I'll come back. Okay?
Eventually.
We're now got these three ready to go in. So we're going to start with the smallest one, just because it's one that's giving me a bit of headache, and I've got to learn how to put glue on in the spot I want it to be. Like, really? You can't put it in the spot you want it? How about everywhere but the spot you want it? Okay. This one's being a pain in the neck because it doesn't want to go in its hole, and now with the glue it won't even go in at all. The sword kind of went in there. Yeah. Plier time. Plier time. Yeah, let's glue it to your finger. There. She'd rather bend than go into the hole. Are you serious? There. Wow. I tell you. That one was not fun. Not only did it not have the holes big enough, and even after they're big enough, still, as soon as I put glue on them, the hole said, "Screw you." Okay, the other two, fortunately, I test fit and they're okay. These ones, although they're tight, they're not nearly like that. There we go. See? It's how that one's supposed to go. After you did such a wonderful job with the panels up below, and that was really wonderful, and you go and do me dirty like this. Come on. You don't be like your friend over there. Get in your hole. This one is not being friendly either. Come on. Don't bend. Get in there. Still not in there. Well, she's in. She's a little bent, but she's in. Okay, there we go. They're in. Pain in the ass, stupid things. I want to rip them out now, but all that fighting would be for nothing then, right? Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more since I've clearly worked this one around too much. And I would like to, especially at the back here, I want it to actually be glued down. I really should do the same with these other ones because they're a little bit hokey. There we go. This guy, I don't think he's going anywhere anyway, so don't think it's going to be an issue with this one. Okay, so that is that. So that leaves those things, and that is finished. So with those put on, what else do we have? B47 needs to be put on our nose into a little spot there. And we've got to get work on our canopy, but we're going to be doing some stuff with the closed canopy. So they want us to put on a piece of PE, but if we're doing the closed canopy, I don't think there's any point in doing the PE underneath there because, well, you're literally not going to see it. It's underneath. And so for closed canopy, we're going to have this guy on there, but B24, but we've got to remove the little peg off of B24. Okay? But I've got to do some masking on our canopies. I'll mask the canopy off camera. We'll do that. We'll get that ready for next time. For now, we're going to do B47 and B10's got to go on there. Okay, so let's get those, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so there's our B tree. B47. Here's B10 right there, right in front of me. Staring me in the face. And B47 is this little guy. Okay. There's the piece for the canopy I was talking about, B24. Okay. Oh no, that's not it. Where is that piece? What is that one? Oh, it is B24. That is it. So they want you to get rid of this little tab right here. I'm just going to cut it and you'll see what I mean. That little tab right there. Okay, they want you to get that smooth right in there. Okay. That's if the canopy's closed, and of course mine is going to be, so yeah. Okay, so this guy, he's going to go in right here. Just like that. Okay. So we're going to take some glue, put it here, and grab him real quick. There should be enough to hold him there lightly so that I can put a little more. There we go. Just press him in there the way he's supposed to be. And then of course he sticks to my tweezers. You're supposed to stay in your spot. There you go. Stay in your home. This is one thing they didn't mold very well, as he sits a little proud, and he shouldn't sit proud. Now this one, it's going to go back here, and he's going to go into that little rectangular spot there. But I'm going to shave down that little nub first. We're going to shave this one down and make him a little bit more flush. Let's see if we can get this one flush. Because the little base that they have this guy on is pretty thick in relation to the hole that little channel that he sits in. Okay, let's do another test fit. Let's see how this is going to look. That's not bad. Let's see if I can get it a little bit better. I think that's going to be good enough. So, kind of want to get this ready here. This guy like this. This guy back on camera. So there, it's going to go right there. So a little bit of glue right there. And in he goes. Just hold it for a sec. Shaving that down really did help in getting this piece to be a lot more flush than this guy. I'm actually tempted to take this guy off and work on him. I want to work on this guy more. Let's get him off of there. I'm going to shave this guy down flush. See if I can anyway. It's just the base that they put him on is just too thick. And so it sits up really high. It doesn't look good. Okay, put him back. And that's much better. A little more glue on this guy just to make sure. It's going to stay there. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And that's going to look better when it's painted too. You won't see this great big base all around him. Same with this one. Look a lot more flush. Will look a lot better. Okay. So that's that. So we got those guys on there. I know couldn't really see what I was doing, but you can and you can't. I know it's difficult. It's difficult to show you guys every little thing like that and show you all the detail. So there we go. So that is that, and this is where I'm going to leave it. These actually, you know, in spite of that being a little bit bent, it's really very minor. Same with this one. It's a very minor bend, but it's okay. It's not bad. And then the glue's holding them at the tips here. That's good. They're not going to accidentally get bumped and bent. So there we go. So that is that, and that's what we're going to leave it for today, I think, because the next step is canopy stuff, and of course our fuel tanks, or drop tanks as they're sometimes often called. Sometimes often, yes. And so that's going to be it. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. We've been getting this thing going and done quite a bit lately, and yeah, I'm happy with the progress. You know, for a 1950 plane, it's really got a lot of elements. Even though it's a jet, it's really got a lot of elements. You put this side by side with a 1/48 scale P-51 Mustang, and you see a lot of similarities in their design other than the swept wings. But even then, you know, a modern jet has the swept wings, but there's a lot more material. You got a lot more wing on a modern jet, right? It's like maybe where my finger is will come straight across and have a lot more surface area on the wings compared to this. I just have a feeling they didn't know about that back then, about having all that surface area, and so they still just kept, instead of the straight wings, they just tilted them back, and that's why you have this. But yeah, that's my guess. I really couldn't say for sure, but that's my guess. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you for all the support. And speaking of support, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down there if you haven't subscribed, and maybe hit the like button too, and leave a comment if you feel like. I love reading your comments, I really do. And yeah, so we're getting there. Maybe next time we might be thinking about putting some more paint on this guy. We'll see how far we get. But yes, down in the description box you'll see some links to my stuff, like my Instagram, my Twitch channel, my X channel. Twitch, you can watch me live, and you can talk to me live if you felt like it. Let me know how funny looking I am. Let me know how I'm doing. If you like this stuff, let me know if you hate it. Let me know if you're a liberal or a conservative. I don't care. Just talk to me. Talk to me. No, on my Instagram, you'll find still pictures of everything that I've built in the past. Every time I build something, I take a bunch of pictures of it when it's all done, and I put it up on my Instagram. And yeah, so you can check that out too if you feel like it. Other than that, I guess we're going to call this done for today, and we'll see you all in the next one.